Now, I know I've been completely wrong on theory videos for a while. But hey, the whole point of YouTube is to make completely horrible clickbait work, right? That is what YouTube is built on, so fuck it, let's talk about it. And there is some validity here. I'm going to talk about some validity, but I fully acknowledge that this theory could be total bullshit, and I could be wrong for, I don't know, the umpteenth freaking time. But today I'm going to be talking about this theory I had of, for Ladybug and Cat Noir. Specifically, the episode known as Time Tagger. Now, if you guys don't know, Time Tagger was this episode in Season 3 that revealed several things. Of course, the biggest being is that Gabriel will not be Hawkmoth much longer in the future. There will be a different Hawkmoth in the future. Now, there are some credible suspects, but the one that, and of course, the biggest one being Lila, especially how the episode ended, and in that, you know, as we all know, Thomas Asterisk is about as subtle as a meth head with a bullhorn when it comes to foreshadowing. No, really, how many times has he all but blaringly said, you know, this happens or that happens with just foreshadowing? Do you get it from just the foreshadowing alone? So yeah, it looks like there's a. I'm gonna put a lot of stock in Lila being the new Hawkmoth in the near future, but there is another candidate I want to talk about, and I could be totally wrong, but it could be like a nice little come from behind, holy crap, this might happen kind of deal. And again, I fully acknowledge that this theory might be totally wrong, and I'm surprised no one's talked about it. I'm really surprised no one's talked about this theory, or maybe they haven't. I just haven't noticed yet. But yeah, in that episode, there are some hints that made me go, hold on, this might be something going on here. And that is the fact that Adrian might be the future Hawkmoth. Let me explain of why I think there might be cause for Adrian being the future Hawkmoth. First and foremost, did you guys notice in that whole episode, whenever Cat Noir talked about, hey, what about me? What am I like in the future? Did you guys notice how the subject kind of changed with Bunnix, aka Future Alex, whenever that happened? Like, did you ever notice that, she quickly changed the subject, or didn't want to acknowledge it? I don't know, maybe that was just the writing, but it also feels like you don't want to acknowledge that, hey, the future hero becomes, you know, bad guy. So that was one thing that got me interested, was that the episode really didn't want to acknowledge future Cat Noir. And you may be thinking, but we see Cat Noir in the future. But then again, like Time Tagger said, just because there is a Hawkmoth in the future doesn't mean it's the same Hawkmoth. So it could be a totally new Cat Noir, and Adrian might be the new Hawkmoth in this timeline. But, so the other thing in this episode you have to look at is that, the other thing that, regarding Bunnix, excuse me. The other thing regarding Bunnix is that when she says, you know, your relationship isn't like a straight line, it's more like all over the place. And again, that's Ladybug Shipping 101, you know, welcome to the fandom. But did you know, like, you could easily interpret that as she knows that it's Adrian in the future, and Adrian's going to the dark side, and their conflicting feelings are kind of going back and forth on that. So that might be another major cause for interest, is that maybe in this, you know, timeline, in this future timeline, what happens is that, you know, Ladybug and Cat Noir, Adrian and Marinette do have feelings for one another, but they're on opposite sides of the board, and it's very much like a Romeo-Juliet kind of scenario. That could easily be the another, you know, possible outcome with this timeline, is that Adrian and Marinette do have feelings for one another, but they're on, like, opposite sides of, you know, justice and villainy. That's another major thing you have to look at, and maybe that's what Bunnix was kind of hinting at. And also, the other thing is that, you know, you may be wondering, well, how could Adrian become the future Hawkmoth? There's actually a lot that could easily make Adrian become the new Hawkmoth. First and foremost, we do have the upcoming episode of Chat Blanc, which I think has been confirmed as the official title for the Season 3 finale. So, yeah, getting that is a possibility, and maybe, he becomes too uncontrollable as akumatized and takes the miraculous. We have seen that, with with Chloe, that a miraculous holder could be akumatized. So that's another, major thing right there. Maybe he goes, maybe he goes with, like, the way of the dark side and just, goes rule of two, Sith style on Hawkmoth, and takes the miraculous and takes his spot as the new Hawkmoth. Now, the other thing, of course, is that Adrian could easily, like, see his father become Hawkmoth, and, Hawkmoth is defeated, or something happens, he loses his faith in Ladybug, and, seeing that what he was trying to do for his mother, seeing everything that Gabriel was trying to do for his mother, maybe he carries on his father's work to now bring them both back with the miraculous, and that could easily be something too. So, there is a lot of factors, and a lot of, and again, I fully acknowledge that I could be totally wrong, and it's probably going to be Lila as the future Hawkmoth. But then again, Asterix isn't exactly known for subtlety when it comes to his foreshadowing in his work, as I've come to understand in these past 3 seasons. But the other thing you have to look at is that, this could easily, this has there is a lot of stock into this theory. And it could be totally wrong. I fully acknowledge that this could be totally wrong. It's for me, it's 95% gonna be Lila, 5% Cat Noir. But I really wanted to bring this up as, a fun discussion for all of you Miraculous Ladybug fans out there. So, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of the idea of Adrian possibly being the future Hawkmoth? Do you think that might happen? Do you think that might happen? Do you think it might be Lila? Or do you think it might be someone else? Do you think it might be, Natalie or Chloe or someone else? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this. And again, I fully acknowledge this might be total BS, but hey, this would be a fun video. But anyway, once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.